What's up? I'm Lou, your host from Silver Mindset Podcast. So, I'm going to jump into one of my little skits. I do this things called Motivate and Marinate. And it's basically like my experience, my research on certain things. So, I'm going to jump into that right now because, the stimmies, Moneybag Joe going crazy. You know what I'm saying? But even before that with COVID and everything been so backed up. A lot of people been laid off of jobs, you know what I'm saying, not able to pay their bills, stay on top of their bills, whatever the case may be, and accumulating debt, probably on debt on top of debt that they already had. So like I said, I'm gonna jump into it or whatever. So first thing first, debt, for anybody who don't know, is pretty much money that you owe to somebody. That could be a car note, phone bill, especially with the way that the world works today, where financing, damn, you could finance an animal. You know what I'm saying? People out here making payments on stuff like that. So it's basically any money that you owe to somebody. And the purpose of Civil Mindset, the purpose of what I do, and I do it because I want to do it, my passion for it, is it's simply freedom. You know what I'm saying? People be like, oh, freedom is a mentality or freedom doesn't exist. To a certain extent, especially for black people, we got to make our own freedom. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest way to make our own freedom is to be financially free. You can't do that if you got debt. You feel what I'm talking about? So, real quick, I was doing research because I have debt of my own. And I find myself, getting over debt, like paying my debt off and then accumulating more debt. And at the end of the day, regardless if you pay your debt off or not, you still got to realize what is the root of your debt. You know what I'm saying? And mentally, we do things that we shouldn't do. It's all about our choices, our bad choices. You know what I'm saying? That turn into cycles, turn into bad habits. And, just be honest with yourself. Why are you sitting here finding yourself in debt over and over again? Are you having like this depression spells where you find yourself spending money because you eating out all the time because you feel, some type of way? You feel like that's the only way to fix it, but it's not, because you just sitting there buying time. You just really distracting yourself with food. You know what I'm saying? If you find yourself, flexing, taking trips, spending money, looking a certain way, driving certain cars, renting certain stuff, for an image. If it ain't meant for you, it ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? Your time gonna come, but don't sit there and put yourself in jeopardy or affect yourself or even lower your vibration by trying to keep up with the Joneses. You get what I'm saying? So you just got to find the root of your issue. If you one of them people where you always taking care of somebody, that's a distraction. Take care of yourself. So real quick, there are a lot of national, debt relief programs out there, especially with the COVID, the pandemic and stuff. But don't even invest in that, to be honest, because look, this was going to happen. When you tap into one of them debt relief programs, what they end up doing is either settling your debt. In order to settle your debt, you have to be delinquent, meaning you have to owe money to the debt that you haven't been paying on. So it's negative. It's sold off to the collections. Because any debt that you have and you paying on it, you stand in the positive. You making on-time payments. You know what I'm saying? If you can't, you making that call for extension, and they not going to charge you to the game. They ain't going to report it to the credit bureaus. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all got a verbal agreement. Sometimes they even email you, sign a form, and you got like your agreement on paper. So the main thing is, if you gonna sit here and pay a debt settlement company to pay your debt off, you might as well just not pay your debt off. Because let's say you in a positive with debt, right? Let's say you got a car note. You like, damn, COVID hit, I lost my job, I ain't gonna be able to pay this car. You call, you use all your extensions, you know what I'm saying? You call, you got to refinance for a lower interest rate, still can't afford it, whatever the case may be. You sitting there paying a debt settlement company, all they gonna do is collect their fee first, and whatever you own that debt, they gonna stop paying your debt. They not gonna make no payments to your debt. They don't make payments to your debt. Only you make payments to your debt when you working with a settlement company. So you stop paying your car note that you was in the positive for, right? Boom. Then the settlement company, they like, oh, okay, now it's delinquent. They get to calling the car note people, the people who put the lien on, that loan you the money to buy the car from the dealership. Like, yo, what can we do? She owe $14,000 on this whatever kind of car, this Toyota Corolla, whatever it is. Yo, how can we settle this? They gonna lower it, because at the end of the day, the loan people sold that loan off to a collection agency. They paid. Now you got these sharks on your head because they want their money. So with these collection agencies, they'll settle for anything as long as they get something. So they be like, oh, we could settle for $10,000. you making this payment with lower interest rate to this company to settle your debt. They're not gonna pay that debt off until they got accumulate 10,000 or whatever the agreed settlement is for that company or that check. I mean, for that debt or whatever. Then they're gonna pay them off, write them a letter to settle the debt because it been fulfilled the agreement that they made. But you still gotta wait 7 years because regardless if you paid it off or not, or settled it or consolidated, whatever the case may be, anything that's negative on your account lasts for 7 years, straight up. So, but it's like one of them things you got to know about. Another thing, debt consolidation. It's a big ass loan, one big loan. You still paying somebody, and they end up just consolidating, combining all your loan to one loan with lower interest rate. Because like if you got a credit card, credit cards on average like 17.99, 14.99. They in the teens. You know what I'm saying? That's interest. At the end of the day, you want to find yourself paying more on the principal, on the actual item that you purchased than the interest. Because the interest is the loan people. You paying them a fee to borrow the money. So don't even sit there and waste your time, waste your money. Don't do it. Don't invest into a debt settlement. Don't invest into a debt consolidation. Don't do none of that. Find the root of your problem first. Why I keep finding myself in debt? Why I can't manage my money? Why I'm so goddamn garbage at saving? Or if I want to really do something, just save it for not necessarily a car. Because honestly, everybody pay a car note. Ain't nobody out here really paying out cars outright, just like working a regular 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be smart with it. If you're going to pay a car note, you need to finesse that mouth. Move them cheeks, pay less in interest. At the end of the day, regardless if your first car or not, because at the end of the day, their goal is to sell. End of the day, you already know what you want. If I don't get it from you, I go get to the next car dealership down the block. You know what I'm saying? Make good investments, make smart choices, but also be honest with yourself. And this another thing, when it comes to debt, let's say you work a job and you average out how much you're getting paid bi-weekly or weekly to how much you're getting paid monthly. Then you times that month to 12 months. That's how much you're getting paid annually, yearly. You know what I'm saying? You look at that. Let's say you working a job and yearly you get paid around $33,000. You accumulate over a total debt of maybe like $30,000. So that's a $3,000 difference, but it's impossible for you to pay that whole debt in 1 year simply because you still got to live. You still got to pay rent. You still got to buy you food, groceries, gas. You still got to treat yourself somehow. Keep yourself pampered, haircuts, hair, nails done, whatever the case may be. So let's be realistic. So if you make $33,000 a year and your debt $30,000, you need to look at what you can afford to do. You know what I'm saying? So for instance, boom. Let's say you got to look at your apartment, how much you paying rent. Everybody want to live luxury. It's nothing wrong with living nice, living good, but make sure you can afford it. Don't ever try to live a certain way and it hurts you more. You get what I'm saying? Because the main thing you don't want to lose is yourself. You want to hire yourself. You want to better yourself. You don't want to stress yourself out. People say money can't buy happiness, and it's true to a certain extent, but it damn should contribute. Because I don't know not one homeless person out here not asking for money. Not one homeless person out here not starving. Not one homeless person out here say, I'm happy to be on the street. Because at the end of the day, we all one mistake, multiple bad choices from being homeless, straight up. You know what I'm saying? So, money contributes to your happiness. We need to be financially free. We need to stop putting ourselves in debt. When I say we, I'm including myself. You know what I'm saying? You can't save money that you don't have. Stop trying to save. Pay those debts off so you be able to save. Able to do the things you want to do. Life is too short to always be living check to check. It's too short to not be like, damn, I can't just go, get up, and go fly somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So again, find the root of your problem. Because with debt, like I said, back to that story. You get $33,000 a year. Your debt, $30,000 total. I say give yourself 2.5 years to pay that debt off. And this is why. Calculate. That's right there. 33 times 3 is $99,000. That's $100,000 that you done made in 3 years. So you got to sit there and calculate. All right, how much is my rent? All my expenses, my rent, my car note, my car insurance, groceries, gas, utilities. If I want to go out now and then, take care of the baby kids, my birthday, whatever the case may be, you got to calculate those things. You know what I'm saying? Dang, okay, this is why I spend a month on the necessity of my bills. I could afford to pay myself. It say you're supposed to pay yourself 20 to 30% every check. If you can't afford that because you drowning in debt, bro, you just can't afford it. You just got to be disciplined. You see what I'm talking about? So, boom. Give yourself 3 years to pay that off, and that's discipline. And if you got a bunch of debts, do the snowball effect. It helps from personal experience. Snowball is basically you starting on the smallest debt, pay that off, go to your next debt. And whatever you was using, however much money you was using on that small debt, just roll it over to how much you use on that next debt. So let's say you in debt, credit card, or whatever like that, $2,000, you making like a $200 payment a month. But then you got another debt, like your car note, and you owe, I don't know, $10,000, and you making $300 payments on it. Boom. Once you pay that credit card off that you making $200 a payment on every month, roll that over to that car note. Now instead of making $300 a month on that car note, you making $500 a month, and you paying that debt off way quicker. You finish that, the next. That $500 gonna go to the next debt because you already been living like this. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to a certain comfortability where you like, okay, I'm paying this debt off, I'm knocking off, I need to start saving. Because at the end of the day, look what COVID did. It's very smart to save at least 3 months worth of expenses. Straight up. Even government people, we weren't getting paid on time. We over there getting sick, especially in the military, we getting sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, civilian contractors on base, all that, people was getting sick because at the end of the day, whatever was going on is going on. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to work and not be so close together. You know what I'm saying? So people was down. A lot of people, especially if you're not getting sick at work, you down, you out of work without pay, straight up. So that's another thing. Have 3 months worth of expense. But back to this debt. Financially freedom. Stop putting yourself in debt. Find the root of your problem. Be honest with yourself. Stop distracting yourself. Focus on yourself. Love.